In this video we are going to take an in-depth look at the entry screen of the Elaine application. It is perhaps helpful to regard this screen as something akin to a modern camera, which has more facilities than one would use on a day-to-day basis, but they are there to be used if you wish. Those things which are in more common use have been highlighted by size or by colour to draw your attention to it, and as one operator observed, I don't look at all of it all the time, just the pieces which are relevant to me. So along the top we have buttons which will move us about, and in many cases these navigation buttons will automatically complete sorts and searches. So the core tasks overview, the units overview. The reception unit overview is very similar to the other overview, except it has slightly less information so that a greater number can be seen on screen. The same applies for the core overview for reception. Exit Elaine closes the application, and task entry we are familiar with from entering tasks. Next to that, it shows us how many days are left in the license for this application. To the left is the retrospective entry button, which is beyond the scope of this and is not available in the lower levels of the application. The toolbar button allows us to turn that toolbar on and off as we wish. The next one shows who the actual unit is. We then, as a reminder, if we wish to know, that it is Thursday 27th. The task area of the task is an accommodation and it is in a unit. The serial number of the task is 1019. A serial number is to provide a unique identifier for reporting purposes. We see that we have the unit code and the name of the unit. We see here where the record was last modified. Then we have the pre-booked, key back, extras, clean and service buttons, which we are familiar with, and the action required. On the left we see when Elaine itself was last modified, not necessarily this particular record. Then the button to draw up the core tasks. A button which then lets us enter as required tasks when necessary. And two grounds entry and overview buttons which are used for ground tasks. We have the housekeeper of the day. Two buttons, one to take us to time and CAR entry, which we are familiar with, and another to take us to a CAR list, which lets us do the entry in list form for those who prefer to do it in that manner. The laundry strip button is here. The start and finish times are down here, and we can, if we wish, add an extra staff member if a task takes more than one person, and it can have its own separate starting time. It doesn't have to be the same as the other one if that's what we wish, and we can clear that data here. The CAR task assessment area is here, and here we have where any notes as a result of the inspection may be made, and if there is deferred maintenance, something which is required to be done which does not necessarily prevent the unit being sold correctly right now, we can add a capital DM, and that will show up later in a deferred maintenance report. And on the right we have access buttons. One which performs a daily audit, one which takes us to the worksheets, one which provides a staff feedback form, one which takes us through to the analysis filter, which we use for creating reports, one for creating a deferred maintenance report, one for checking for any maintenance that needs to be done, and one for accessing staff records and cleaning times for non-staff entry purposes, for entering staff or cleaning times as relevant. Up here we have the time for a service, a full service and a spring clean, just for reference purposes. We can see here that the target time is 35, and if we change this to a service, it will change to 15.